All right, guys, let's do this. The new moon didn't happen until after midnight, so we are doing it now. How's everybody doing? I am going to be posting this on YouTube. This will probably be the last time that I post one of my Patreon exclusive energy updates on YouTube, because I like to from time to time post them on YouTube just so people know that there's something going on over on Patreon. Because if I don't tell anybody, nobody knows about it. God, source, spirit, cosmic consciousness, ancestors, galactic ancestors, spirits, spirit guides. As I set my ego to the side to channel your message for everyone today, please let me speak this clearly. All right, let's see what the cards have in store for us today. Ooh, I can feel my fingers starting to tingle already. Get rid of that half of the cards. Getting down, just a few. Now we're down 4. Nope. Despacho. Are you experiencing and expressing your appreciation for all of life? Allow the giving back ceremony to help you make humbly powerful prayers of gratitude. Gratitude is a powerful tool of transformation. Concentrating your focus upon all that you are so lucky to have helps you generate more of what you need in life. You are a powerful creator. Your thoughts and feelings create. Your actions create Aini, sacred reciprocity, with Pachamama when you give back to her in thanksgiving for all she gives to you. Feel like this is really poignant for today. Feel like I need to light some incense. Hold on. So we have this ceremony, we call it despacho. Despacho, not gazpacho, despacho. That's the first thing everybody thinks, including myself when you first hear it. It's a thing. It's a thing. Despacho. D-E-S-P-A-C-H-O. Despacho. And it is an offering to Pachamama, our Mother Earth. And within that offering, we give individual, within the larger offering itself, we give smaller little offerings we call quintus. So not only do we have what ends up being the larger offering in and of itself, it's made up of many smaller offerings. And I feel like it's important to mention that that's what manifesting and gratitude overall for life is. It's made up of those smaller moments of gratitude, those smaller moments of assurance, even when they are not done with intention. But especially the ones that are done with intention. So we're going to have our overall gratitude for life. We are going to overall have our life that we manifest. But how do we do that? That's been something that's coming up a lot recently. How do we do that? With lots of smaller moments. It's not going to be just one big moment, although it may culminate in what looks like a larger thing. But that larger thing, whatever it is, whether you're manifesting or you're working on a project or just living life, the whole is always, when you think about it, made up of little smaller pieces. And so for the despacho, we use bay leaves and flower petals, and we put our prayers into them through some meditation as well as our breath. And then we put them all together on this piece of paper. And that builds the middle world, because the whole despacho is a representation of the three worlds. While those of us who are creating our quintus are doing so, our Paco, our priest, creates the lower world. And then, well, and I guess to just explain a little bit more, the way he does this is, for those of you who don't know, a despacho is a piece of often wrapping paper laid out, and then it's like a mandala. It's like a sand mandala, only made up of different things. So we will use cotton balls, for instance, for the upper world to have the clouds represented. And so we do this with all three worlds. We have the lower world represented with different things. We have the middle world represented with all of our quintus and prayers. And then we have the upper world represented. And there's ribbon, and there's glitter, and there's candy. There are offerings. And this all gets wrapped up very particularly in this piece of wrapping paper and offered to Pachamama. And it's a great metaphor for how our life, our world, everything we do is an offering. And that everything we do should be with Aini, sacred reciprocity, in mind. Because that is how we live our best lives. When we can be present in the moment of every moment that we possibly can, with not just what can I get out of this in mind, but how can I serve in mind. Because the thing is that when you put service in mind first, everything else will naturally come to you. People think this is sort of an absurd concept, and I even did once. And I was even talking about this yesterday with someone, where I was like, Jesus wouldn't have been able to travel the way he did if people didn't offer him food and shelter. But all of his needs were taken care of. Yeah. First I thought that didn't sound right. All of his needs were taken care of. And so he was able to do this because everywhere he went, his needs were taken care of. And you have to ask yourself, which came first? This is one of those chicken and the egg situations. But in my experience, service, the willingness to be of service, comes first. And when you are willing to take that leap of faith, when you are willing to ask, not what this will do for me, but what I can do for anything. When you're willing to consider that first, what can I do in this situation? When you can think about that first, everything else will naturally come to you. This is the law of abundance, the sacred cycle of giving and receiving. Giving without the expectation of receiving in return, just because you can, even if that's your time. The universe provides for those who go with the flow of sacred reciprocity and sacred laws of divine balance and abundance. So I want to leave you all with this. If things don't feel like they're going the way you would like them to be, I want you to try not asking yourself how you can get more to fill what you think the void is, but instead, how can I give more? How can I give more? How can I give more? And see what happens. Thank you guys for joining me for another video. If you're watching this on YouTube, I do a bi-monthly energy update for the new and full moon every single month, twice a month, on Patreon. So if you've enjoyed this, I definitely recommend you go check out Patreon over in the description. If you are watching this on Patreon, I love you all so much and thank you for supporting me. I do offer these for free over on Patreon. So if you aren't signed up for a membership, you can go through and watch all of the bi-monthly energy updates for free on Patreon. And if you want to sign up for one of my memberships, they start out at as little as $11.11 a month. And then the next tier up from that is $23 a month. I call it the ascending tier. And that gives you like everything my Patreon has to offer, really. Like, I have put so much. It's been a labor of love the last 2 years. I have put so much into everything that I offer on Patreon. And I have 2 tiers above that, the Sanctuary of the Awakened, which is my VIP group, and then the Enlightening tier. But the Enlightening tier, Sanctuary tier, and Ascending tier, they all have the same base content. So you have the Awakening tier, which has one-off videos, journal exercises, guided meditations, amazing, amazing teachings. And then you move up to the Ascending, which, like I said, is just $23 a month, and that has everything the Awakening tier has to offer, plus my other guided meditations, my intuitive lifestyle course, Spirituality 101, 2.0, my meditation series. We're actually actively in the middle of Spirituality 2.0 right now, so there are some videos available, and there will be more to come where I am teaching A Course in Miracles lessons from the workbook. And then the Sanctuary has everything that the Ascending and Awakening tier has to offer, plus the Sanctuary content where I get awake, not woke, Anya, and a little red-pilled, and a little personal, and a little worldly in comparison to just the service. And then the Enlightening tier has everything that the Ascending and Awakening tier has to offer, plus a once-a-month session with me and access to Voxer direct messaging with me to talk in between sessions. My books for one-on-one in general are still open. You can ask me any questions by emailing me or signing up for one of my free clarity calls. But if you know you're ready to heal, grow, and expand your consciousness, end the cycles of suffering in your life, I have my, whoa, I just blanked on that. I have my session packages available, and that commits you to a certain amount of sessions and then how often you work with me, and what we work on is personalized to you. And there's the link for that in the description. Lots of other fun stuff in the description. Thank you for joining me for my bi-monthly energy update. All of my bi-monthly energy updates are something for life in general. So if you're just catching this now on YouTube, I definitely suggest going back to Patreon and watching the others, because I do really put the effort into making them something that people can watch for years to come, since I am posting them. And as always, may the energies you serve you well. Be brave, stay sane, stay curious, be kind to each other, and let's keep making our way through.